I come to you as an investor for the last 30 years, consultant for as many years, coaching businesses for the last 15 years, and I started a mentoring program 5 years ago. And currently, I'm running a program about $1 million business challenge and opportunity. And certainly, the question I ask myself, what can I glean from this? What can I take? But we are superheroes when we show up with empathy, with love, with caring, with the capability to influence not just ourselves, because we control ourselves better most of the time, but we can learn how to control ourselves. And what's amazing is by how we show up, it controls those people around us, that environment around us, that company, that neighborhood, the world. It starts to have a ripple effect. Now, certainly, it's a mystery to me. I can't quite explain all of it, but how you show up as the most perfect self, it has a repercussion. And we know heroes from the past that have shown up: Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Nelson Mandela, Winston Churchill. They just projected something out there that really were superheroes for us. And so, what I'm thinking is that we can control ourselves. And when we do that, we can also affect those other people around us tremendously. Every emotion, every single emotion has a positive intent. And so, whether it's something that we think is negative, stress or bitterness, or those, that it has a positive intention for the person. And the key there is to be able to use that to be able to do something positive for themselves. So, how does stress turn into positive? How does bitterness turn into positive? How does negativity turn into positive? Well, it can. What's fundamental that I've started to learn is emotions start off with physiology. So, if I'm tired, then I'm not my best self. I'm physically tired. I'm not my best self. I can't perform. But the opposite is true in the morning when I'm fully rested, fully asleep. I'm at 100%. I'm ready to go. I'm fired off. In fact, when I look for when is my best time to be in that flow state, it's in the morning, early in the morning, and I can get different things. I start to think. I go through different coaching processes. And my intention is that I could always be in the state of flow, not realistic, but I could strive for that. But here's the value of being in that state of flow. When you do that, your performance, your results can be 4 to 5 to 7 times more than when you're not in state of flow. So there's a big payback. There's huge payback. So if I can be in a flow state for 2 hours in the morning, my ideal time, I can get the equivalent work done of a 10-hour day or more. Big payoff from, even if you do the math in terms of money, a big payoff. And that's one of the things that, from a business standpoint, and I think where most of us are in the business arena, that's not translated, that's not understood by businesses because they're thinking, of course, of profitability, results, do more with what we have, do more with less. But the key is that statistics and science is starting to prove that you can get 3 to 5 to 7 times more if you do things a little bit differently. And when you do that, when you get that understanding, all of a sudden you stop thinking like businesses are thinking short term rather than long term. You want short term results, and they sacrifice the long term results for a lot of different reasons. And And of course, short-term results, it shows up faster most of the time. Long-term results takes time, takes some effort, takes some discipline, takes some skill sets, may take some tool sets, may take some mindsets to do that. Takes effort. And who's got the time for that if you're thinking short term? They don't have the time for that. But if you put the effort long term, then it works time and again. Addressing the thing that Jeremy said about perfection. It can't get too perfect. I know. We know that. But we should strive for that. We should find out, what does it take to be close to perfect? What does it take to be able to put in the practice, the effort to be at that level? I've heard it say, maybe you've heard it say too, that success is 99% perspiration and only 1% inspiration. So people that are born gifted, they have 1%. Which says very good about all the rest of us, or me, that I can achieve that if I put the practice and go towards that perfection and fail and succeed and fail until I get to a higher level of results. And what helps me to get to that is to be in a state of flow. And how do you get to a state of flow? Amazingly, from what I'm starting to discover, I'm starting to delve into that more. And I listed all the different signals that can get you in state of flow, like passion and purpose, commitment, communications, all those things. I went through all of those, and they all resemble coaching skill sets, all of them. And then I thought, well, if that's true, and like Jeremy, I benefit tremendously from being coached and having coaching skill sets. And I got to be a better person. And when I get to be a better person, I can help others be better. And then I can start to discover different things through curiosity, what works, what doesn't work, and what could possibly do that. So now I'm finding this flow state that allows us to get tremendous returns back if we do certain things in a particular sequence. And so how do we do that? How do we do it at the individual level, at the team level, and at the organizational level? And I'm successful, or at least I've seen it at the individual level. I can see super athletes. I've paid a lot of money. Everybody pays a lot of money to see super athletes, super singers, movie stars. They're at the top of their game, and we pay money to see them. I think it's because secretly, quietly, we would love to be able to be those people if we could, if we had the talent, if we had all these things. So I think our DNA is to be high performance individuals, to be in a flow state. So if that's the case, then what are the triggers? What are the signals to be able to do that individually? So what about a team? Team sports is big, and you could take a team of really coordinated, mediocre players, but they're coordinated, functioning as a team. They will always beat a team of individual super performers that is not coordinated. So that's the magic about having a team, that you can make phenomenal performances and get results. I've seen that now. The organization part, that's a little bit more difficult, and that's the process that I think, how do you get to be an Apple? How do you get to be a Google, a $1 trillion company? They probably tapped into those secrets. There's a revolution going on, a business revolution that's going on. And the command and control that you talked about is predominant, certainly in the Western culture, Eastern culture, very much. The Middle East, predominant. But there's a revolution going on. The ones that are collaborative, empathetic, compassionate, the Apples of the world, the Googles of the world, they are winning. They are they are shifting and they're paying attention. Those that are command and control, they're short-term thinkers rather than long-term thinkers. They're going to be out of business and out of and gone. We're saying, oh, if you collaborate, if you love what you're doing, if you're willing to die for an ideology, that beats that command and control that they're doing it for money, they're doing it for senselessness, and that separation, we could see it clearly. We know who's going to win. And so I think that's the same true. Once that's over, we get back to business. Business is going to pay attention, especially because of the COVID situation. We were empowered much more so. I'm here in the US, much more so to be able to produce more. And people did. All of a sudden, we can communicate more, we can collaborate more. I can visit with you online. These are tools. My intelligence, my skill level has been elevated, my possibilities. I cannot go back 2 years. I'm not the same person. And so now I'm finding that we have the thrust, the ideas, the capability that we can explore and think what if and think longer term. It starts with me to be able to show up better, to be able to really get in a flow state, to be able to produce 7 times the return. I'm very much a student. I'm in that journey, and it's really quite interesting. So I could be curious, I could be agile, I could be a little boy exploring, I could be creative. I have so that I could teach others how to do that. So I could teach an organization how they could do that. And when we teach an organization, then we teach a community. When we teach a community, we teach a country. And when we teach a country, then it's the global aspect. We have a better world for my children, grandchildren, for Jeremy's children, for those of you that have people that they love. We create a better world.